Welcome to the Explainer. Every single developer has faced this problem. You're trying to get your head around a massive, unfamiliar codebase. Well, today, we're looking at a tool that promises to be your map.
And that just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? I mean, you clone a repo, you open it up, and you're just lost. You're swimming in this sea of files and folders. And you want to help out, but that learning curve feels like a 90-degree wall.
But what if you had that map? Or, even better, what if you had an AI-powered copilot sitting right there with you? Well, that's exactly the promise of the tool we're exploring today, GitForMe. It's designed to take that whole ocean of code and turn it into a chart you can actually navigate. All right, so here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll quickly touch on the core problem and how GitForMe solves it. Then, we're going to really dive in from two different angles. First, as a user who just wants to explore a new project, and second, as a developer who wants to get this thing running and maybe even contribute.
Yeah, that feeling, that where do I even start moment, it's a real killer for momentum, especially when you're trying to get into open source. You're excited to contribute, but you end up just staring at a wall of code, completely stuck.
Okay, so what's the solution? This is where GitForMe comes in. It tackles this problem head on. You literally just feed it a repo URL, and boom, it generates this interactive dashboard that just demystifies the entire codebase for you. So let's really get into the user experience. Let's say you found a cool new project. How does this tool actually take you from feeling confused to feeling ready to contribute in just a matter of minutes?
First up, you've got this AI chatbot they call GitBro. And this is cool because instead of digging through files yourself, you can just ask it questions, plain English. Things like, hey, where's the authentication logic handled? And because the AI is grounded in that specific repo's code, the answers it gives you are actually accurate and super relevant.
Then there's the dashboard, which is basically your mission control for the project. It gives you this amazing bird's eye view. It shows you code hotspots, so you immediately know which files are the most complex or have the most activity. It'll even scan your dependencies for risks. And, this is a big one, it points you straight to good first issues, which is the perfect way to get your foot in the door.
And it's clear the whole thing is built for speed. There's a super context builder that lets you handpick files and folders to feed to your own LLM if you want. And I love this, a one-click setup that just clones the repo and opens it right in VS Code for you. It gets rid of all that annoying initial setup friction.
Okay, so that's what it's like to use GitForMe. But this is an open source project itself. Which brings us to part 2. What if you want to get under the hood and actually help build it? Let's switch gears and look at this from a developer's perspective. So before we jump into the setup, let's take a quick peek at the tech stack. It's mostly JavaScript, which makes total sense for the front end and the main backend server. But you see that little slice of Python? That's really important. It powers a separate LLM server that handles all the AI magic, creating the vector embeddings and streaming the chat responses. Getting this thing running on your own machine is actually pretty straightforward. It's built with a microservice architecture, so the setup is broken down into these clean little parts. You've got the Node.js backend, the Python LLM server, and the React frontend. The README lays it all out in a simple 4-step process. Easy peasy. So once you're up and running, the next step is pretty clear. This is not some closed-off project. The creators are really encouraging the community to jump in and contribute. And the best part? They make contributing super easy. It's the standard GitHub flow we all know and love. You fork the project, create your own branch, commit your changes, push it, and then open a pull request. No weird hoops to jump through, just the classic, effective workflow. Now, if you're thinking, okay, but where do I even start? Well, they've got you covered. The maintainers have already pointed out some fantastic areas to begin. So whether you're a front-end wizard who wants to improve the UI, or a back-end dev who can add new file parsers, or you just love making things more stable with tests and error handling, there's a clear place for you.
When you step back, GitForMe is just a fantastic example of using AI to fix a real-world headache for developers. It's not only this great tool for anyone trying to get into a complex project, but it's also a wonderfully open and accessible project for developers who want to give back.
With tools like this knocking down the biggest barriers, the world of open source is just more accessible than ever before. So really, the map is now in your hands. The only question left is, what intimidating codebase are you going to conquer first?